Thank you for this invitation. I'd like to, of course, acknowledge the chair of the board of FDCL and the CEO and all the other board members, including all the representatives from the different ministries, including from agriculture. I don't intend to make a very long speech. I'm essentially here. I took this opportunity to come essentially to hear from you, and we're going to have a Talanoa session after this. And essentially to see what are some of the challenges, some of the issues you would like addressed. But just to put into perspective by way of background, those of you, and many of you of course have been involved in the dairy industry for a number of years. The good old days of Rewa Dairy used to exist. And of course since then we've got the Fiji Dairy Limited, and you now have your cooperative organization. To put it furthermore into perspective, the Rewa Dairy, I remember when we did the restructure, it had an enormous debt burden. And there were a lot of, in fact, to be frank, a lot of corruption that existed within Rewa Dairy Cooperative Limited. I've seen watches, Rolex watches being bought by farmers' funds, dairy farmers' funds, by the CEO and various other people in those days. But we've come a long way from then. Today, this organization of yours, which is owned by yourself, does not have any debt. You receive dividends from FDL, and so far since the reorganization, you've received over $5 million in dividends that have been paid out to you. You of course hold shares in FDL, non-voting shares. The other aspect, of course, is government has continued to provide assistance to dairy farmers. And we've provided almost about $5 million in the past number of years, right from farm gate subsidy prices to other aspects, for example, cartage, etc. And then, of course, we do provide services through the Ministry of Agriculture, whether it's to deal with TB and various other challenges that the dairy farming industry does have. And we're here to say to you that we'll continue to provide that assistance. We drink, I remember a few years ago, Fijians combined drink about 77 million liters of milk a year. At the moment, we are producing a little over 5 million liters of milk a year. So you can see there's obviously an enormous gap. And there's opportunities to fill in that gap. At the same time, of course, with the number of dairy farmers, I was talking to your CEO, you have little over 200 dairy farmers, of which only 11 farmers are what we call large commercial farmers. All the other farmers are small farmers, having a few cows here and there, essentially contributing to milk production. So there's an enormous gap between those who are fully commercialized and those who are not commercialized. As a government, obviously, our objective is to try and ensure that we get many more commercial farmers as possible. A lot of this depends on not just the environment in which you operate in, but fundamental issues like access to land, the period of lease, the period of finance you can actually get from financiers to ensure that you modernize your farms. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here today, to actually listen to some of the challenges, because we believe, of course, we have an opportunity to assist you in more smarter and targeted ways to ensure that you have access to finance so you can actually grow your farms, and indeed overall your production output increases. It would be amiss of me not to mention COVID-19, of course, as your chairman has just mentioned about the lapse in respect of the management of TB because of COVID. A lot of restrictions in terms of people movement. You're wearing masks when you have to go into closed areas. Open areas you don't have to wear masks, but of course out in the public you do have to. This has of course restricted government's ability to provide a lot more assistance. We welcomed, and I was at the Nandi airport on the 1st of December when we had the first plane load of tourists come down or land in Nandi. A lot of people were crying, a lot of people were quite euphoric about the fact that we had our tourists coming back to Fiji almost 2 years afterwards. And as you know, that tourism contributes nearly 40% towards the GDP. When the border shut down, government revenue halved overnight because of the lack of tourists. So it has in a way constrained our ability to be able to provide a lot more services. But what we have done, we have continued to essentially ensure the fundamentals of governmental services continue. So we did not stop free education. We did not stop free bus fares. We did not stop poverty alleviation schemes. In fact, what we have done, on the contrary, some of you I know have benefited from the grants that were offered last year. And in fact, this year in the budget that was announced, we've offered $200 million in loan facilities to micro, small and medium enterprises. A number of people also I know, dairy farmers included, that have applied for loans, in particular with FDB. And FDB has already disbursed over $40 to $50 million. Under this scheme, we pay your interest rate for the first 2 years. Government pays the interest rate. And in those 2 years also, you don't make any principal repayments because we have an arrangement with the banks, including FDB, Home Finance, BSP and Bread Bank, because unfortunately Baroda, Westpac and ANZ have not participated in this lending facility. But all these other banks that I've mentioned have participated. For the first 2 years, you don't do any repayments. The reason why we've done that is that so you can stand on your own 2 feet and to be able to increase your production or whatever business you're engaged in and give you that head start. So there's a number of facilities that's available. We're looking at how to expand that. We're also looking at, in particular, talking to FDB as to how we can, for example, provide more funding for farmers who want to engage, in a more deeper and meaningful manner, in this case, in the dairy industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, it brings me to the conclusion of my remarks, and like I said, I look forward to hearing from you and talking with you. And please, in the Talanoa session, don't hesitate to ask any questions. If any questions you may have, doesn't have to be linked to the dairy industry. Any areas that you may think you need clarification, please don't hesitate to do that. But I'd like to commend the board and the management in respect of setting up this supermarket of yours that you've got. If you go overseas, a number of the organizations pertaining to farmers have what they build their own ecosystems, where farmers who belong to a particular industry are able to access, for example, groceries and various other amenities provided by their own farmer organization. And it is a good thing. And also you may be able to access credit that you generally may not get from other, shops and supermarkets. In this way, it helps you manage your own cash flow. It helps you manage your business. Because the one thing that we like people to understand more, including in the agriculture sector, which includes the dairy industry, you have to run your farms like a business. You cannot, for example, run it like, something that if somebody comes along and they can give them some free milk on the side. You have to run it like a business. Because if you don't run it like a business, if you don't have the financial discipline, you won't be able to grow your business. And that's critically important for people to understand. And if that type of financial discipline can be brought about, I'm sure, by your organization, if they're able to provide the various ancillary services, whether it's groceries or any other type of facilities, for example, access to subsidized feedstock, which we actually try and subsidize also, then it helps you grow your business. And that's the approach we need to take to agriculture. There is money to be made in agriculture, actually. It's a cash crop. We've seen, for example, in other areas, in some other countries where people don't just have a dairy farm, they also grow other produce on the side. You have what we call mixed farming. You may need to look at that depending on your land, the availability of the land size. So there's various opportunities, and the Ministry of Agriculture, of course, will be quite happy to talk with you and to be able to provide you with that assistance. So ladies and gentlemen, with those few remarks, I'd like to congratulate all of you once again with your new business venture, and thank the board and the CEO for this new initiative. I'd like to also take this opportunity to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and of course a very happy and a prosperous New Year. Manoca, thank you.
Thank you, sir.